Okay. It's been a couple of days since I've actually streamed anything, so we're gonna do a bit of cattle and crops for a couple of hours, and I'll catch you up on what I've been doing. Um, as you notice, I've made a little bit of cash. We sold the crop of hay off of this field, and I'm surprised actually how much I made off of it. We made 19,000 euros off this field of hay. It took me almost a week to get it dry this time. Every time I got it dry or almost dry, it'd rain, and then I'd have to start the process all over again. Eventually I got it dried and I got it sold. Now we're currently prepping this field for next year now. We've missed planting season. Yeah, I sold it at the harbour as hay, not as bales. I just sucked it up with the trailer and just transported it as it was. I didn't bother baling it up because when I looked at the hang on, let me get my bearings. When I actually sold it, they've revamped this, right? They've revamped the actual sales thing, but they've forgotten, like, you can sell crops like wheat, barley, maize, and all this, right? But and cows and bales, right? But there's no silage sales, whatsoever, right? So I had to work it out how much I'd made, because I've actually sold cows as well, right? I sold some cows, so it doesn't have all of your sales stuff on here, which is annoying. Right, so I sold hay, which has gone down now. Look, no, that's not it. Here we go. I sold it for 1.1, and the truck, the trailer, the hay trailer, the trailer I use that sucks up the hay from the ground, can hold 40,000 liters. Let me pop that out so I can actually see it. Great. And I lost that text. Can you write that in again? Because I just popped the text box out of its stream, and now I can't. Now it reset the freaking text box, so I can't see what you said. But yeah, so I sold those. Now I took the whole of this field, 2 silos there. I'm selling maize, my maize, straight off. Yes, straight off the field instead of taking going to the biogas. Yeah, they're better prices than mine. My hay was Yeah. Well. Well. Um. That's a good thing, actually. You saying that. Oh, this is. Oh, yeah. I've lowered the price. I've made it more. I've made it a little bit easier. Yeah. The prices will be a bit different. Um. I was sick of struggling to make money, so I've brought it down to. I brought it. Now it's not going to stay at this level of easiness. I will progressively turn it up so that it's harder. But I got fed up of um, losing money and not making any. Um, so I've turned it down to easy for now, and then as soon as I'm happy, now I think I'm I'm gonna turn it back up to medium shortly after I've got two. There's two implements I actually want. Um, before I turn it back up. Now I'm not going to get the combine harvester first. I'm going to work to get that, but I want to make sure I've got the seeding machine, and I'm thinking I'd like to have the baler and at least close to getting the fertilizing tank, and then I'll be happy, and I'll start turning the difficulty back up on sales. Um, but now I'm gonna see. I've tried silage. I've tried biogas. I've tried the hay on making cash. I've made money off the bulls, and I'm going to make this. I'm going to prep this field up for. I'm going to grow some wheat. I'm going to grow some wheat in this field. In the coming year. So that's what I'm doing. I'm prepping it up. I'm ploughing it. Gonna figure out what fertilizer I'm gonna need for it and get it all ready for the following year. And then I'm gonna rent practically all of the implements I need. I'm gonna rent the seeder, put the seed in, and everything's gonna be rented this time around. I'm not gonna buy anything. Even this plough right now is rented. I didn't buy anything. I'd like to. I'm not. My intention is to buy everything eventually, but right now it's not making sense for me to just when I get the seeder and the baler. That's when I'm going to start buying everything after that. I sold the 3 cows. Sold the 3 cows that were still left over from my 12 cows that I had. I bought 4 new cows. They're actually in the barn. The 3 that we put in the field are still in the field, and I haven't moved them. I haven't done anything with them. They've stayed in. The cow experiment goes on. I haven't cheated or anything. I haven't done nothing with them, so they're still in that field. At the moment, I don't think we've seen any results of the cow experiment yet. The ones that are in the field are still pretty low on weight, right? And the ones that we bought are still the same. So we can't really tell. And I've just gone, oh my god, yeah. That shows for not paying attention. So we can't really tell what's going on with the cows yet, because like that shows that I'm not driving in straight lines, or this field isn't straight. Because if this field had been straight, this would have followed followed on. But anyway, so yeah, the cows are haven't grown any yet, so I can't tell what's going on with them. I think in the next following year, once we get through this year and get into the next year, I think that's when I'm going to start finding out how these cows are going to grow. So I made quite a bit of cash. I had 33. Now that's because I sold. I had 33,000. Now that's because I sold a lot of stuff. I sold the plough, the cultivator, and a few other things I sold. There's certain things I've kept, like the cow feeding machine, and that's about it, and a few of the bucket and things that I need to fill my cow feeder up with, but that's all I've kept. Everything else is pretty much gone. I've got I still own I own a trailer, the green trailer flatbed, and the 40k silage trailer. And I still haven't taken out a loan, which my whole season, my whole videoing of this is to try and progress this farm without taking out a loan. So far, I haven't had to take a loan out, which I am desperately trying to stay away from. And resisting at times, because when there's an item I actually really want and a loan would cover it, I'm like fighting myself to stop myself from freaking getting out the loan. It's like I actually wanted to buy the fertilizer tanker, and that's 100,000. So a loan would cover the cost of that, but I'm trying to resist it. Now I had my employee do a lot of this field work on this field. I had her do the drying process, and then I had her do the swath, the windrowing. I had to do that as well. But while she was doing that, actually, she was doing it in this tractor I'm driving now. I went and hired the lowest version of the Mercedes-Benz, which I really hate. I hate that tractor. I think it's one of the worst. But it did the job that I wanted it to do. So I went and hired that for 4 hours, which I think came to about 400, 500. And I had it actually delivered, so it cost me a little extra. I had it delivered to the farm. And I used that and the hay trailer to come and take up the hay while it was being rolled. So it got the job done a little faster. Has that just folded it up? It freaking has. I thought I'd rotated it. So yeah, this episode's probably going to be me just doing this, pretty much, or until I get fed up and get the. Well, actually, I'm not sure whether the employee will actually do this job now I've actually started it. I've tried to get them to do jobs from take over from me, but they don't seem to. I was going to stream this yesterday, but my freaking laptop decided to die. The laptop I fetched from the UK died on me. So I had an Acer laptop that my wife was borrowing until we got her another one. And she was complaining it was slow. The hard drive died in it, and I replaced the hard drive, and she was still complaining it was slow. So we got another laptop, and when mine just died yesterday, I thought, right, I'm going to see what I can do about fixing the Acer and see if we can get it working. So I took the hard drive out of the Toshiba that's died, because I wanted to. There's pictures on the hard drive from the Toshiba that I took. I've got an SLR camera, and since I've been over here in America, I wanted to visit. Gettysburg Battlefield, and I actually went to see. We've actually been, and while we were there, I took a whole load of pictures of the battlefield and the memorials and the statues, the actual Napoleon cannons and all sorts of stuff. But all of those pictures were on the hard drive that was on the broken machine that died yesterday. So I had to took that hard drive out of that, put it into this Acer, and then discovered now my Toshiba had 8 gig of RAM in it, and I thought, right, I'll take the 8 gig, because I knew the Acer was only 4 gig DDR4, and I thought, right, if I take 8 gig out of the Toshiba, it'll make the Acer better. I discovered that the Toshiba RAM is smaller in size compared to the Acer, so it wouldn't fit. But I also found that the Acer didn't even have any RAM in it, which I was like, that's supposed to have 4 gig of RAM in it. 4 meg of RAM, yeah, 4 gig, and it's got nothing. But the other Acer had it, but I think I took it out and put it in hers. I don't know why, and I don't even know where the other RAM's gone. So I took it back out, put it back in this one, and I spent all day yesterday trying to get the Acer laptop to talk to my TV, because like my computer has its own monitor where I'm playing the game, but I like to monitor the actual chat room and see how well the game's being streamed on my TV, and I couldn't get it working yesterday, so I couldn't stream the game that I wanted to play yesterday. Now I'm actually thinking they've just released. I've been toying with buying another game over the last few days, and I haven't seen anything I've really wanted to get. I've got a whole lot of stuff on my wish list, but none of it's talking to me. Now there's a game just released today called. Now I like to watch other people playing games and streaming, and one of the people I watch is Northern Alex. He does farming games, simulators, fishing simulator, but fishing boat simulators and truck simulators and all sorts of stuff. Mostly simulating games he plays. But he's also been playing like emergency games like police and fire ambulance and all that sort of stuff. Now I was watching one of his videos the other night, and he was talking about a fire fighting simulator. Hi Dazzle, how you doing? he was talking about his firefighting. Oh no, stop. I just rotated it. Which is supposed to have. It's based in an American city, like a made up American city, and it's got American firefighting machines, firefighting engines, and things. And the fire mechanic on this game is supposed to be the best there is right now. And I was just actually watching. I've done it again. Oh, I was supposed to press T, not R. Uh, so, so I was just watching this guy playing it, and it looks pretty good. So I was thinking about buying it, but I'm not sure how much gameplay it's got. Now, right now it's on sale for $19.99 US, and I was playing with the idea of getting it, but I'm worried that it won't have enough gameplay. Although you actually can play it co-op with friends. Now that would be interesting if I actually knew somebody else who actually played it. But I'm still worried on how much playability it's got. I'm still waiting for them for Kettle and Crops for them to actually start giving me more content. They seem to be doing a lot of fixy, slight changey types updates, and they're not even doing the fixy, changey UI updates very well either. Because like missing, you're giving me more info. They have given me more info, and they have actually changed a little bit to that spreadsheet page, but they've still missed out. Still missed out information that I'm actually creating that's not actually being displayed to me. Which, if you're gonna fix the page, if you're gonna change it and you're gonna add some stuff in it, at least finish the page off and actually complete it. I know these devs are working hard, and I don't mean to get on at them and everything, but it's like you've changed the page, yet you've missed information out. I want sheep, and I want some pigs, and I want some cows. If the devs ever get on my page and watch these videos, these are my wish lists: some pigs, some cows, some sheep, some milk containers, and a milk truck. Yeah, and a butterfly mower, and one for the front, the butterfly mower for the back, the one for the front, so it's a complete thing. What else? There's other stuff. There is a ton of other stuff I want, and I've got to think of it. Solid manure. We should be able to spray. There's a machine that you can spray hay into the barn, so you should be able to spray it in, and then the farmer should be able to go in and sweep it back out into the middle of the aisle, and then you get a freaking machine that comes in and takes it all out. I want to have solid manure for my farm. I know that's going to be another mechanic that they're going to have to work on, because the nitrates from solid manure is different. So I know they're going to have to work on that. Yeah. More. There's the other thing. More crops, i.e., beets and potatoes, and I want a potato harvester. And the thing is, with the potato harvester, you need a driver, and I think this is why they haven't. I think this is probably why they haven't actually brought this in yet, is because they're trying to produce this game as realistic as possible. Which, if in that case, you'd need a driver working the tractor, and you'd also need either you or the AI actually on the actual harvester, because you're supposed to take away any, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it this realistic or not, because like you might see stones coming up onto the grill, and you're supposed to remove them and check the potatoes that are going through. That'd be kind of a difficult mechanic to work with. Carrots. Carrots. That'd be greenhouse, though, wouldn't it? You'd do that in a greenhouse mostly, I would have thought. So you'd have to bring greenhouses in. That would then change it even more, because then you'd have to put down a greenhouse. I'm more looking for peas. I've not seen any farming game yet do peas and do a pea pulling machine. I guess that's because I'm from the north and I'm used to seeing fields with peas in them. Do you know, that would be interesting if they could actually... I just had a thought. With the sheep, you would actually shear them. Sheep dip them. Shear them. Now, that would be an interesting thing to see in a farming game. Oh, okay. So there's a machine that pulls the carrots out? Sorry for the ignorance on that. I didn't buy. I refused. Let's put it this way. I self boycotted Farm Simulator 19. I bought the first one, and I bought them all the way up to 17. And after getting to version 17, and if you compare 17 with the first, apart from graphical changes of vehicles, more vehicles, slight updates from the modders, there is no real difference between the first game and 17. And I got to the point where I've been buying Farm Simulator games for years, and I bought one that actually had a dynamic field ploughing. It was buggy as hell. The tractor every now and then decided to take flight, and you'd end up miles out of your field. It had some horrendous bugs, but the actual field mechanic of it was the best I've ever seen. And I got to a point where I want to see this. I want to be able to see my field get ploughed properly. Coming from Yorkshire, you drive down the road into this countryside and you see the fields ploughed, and you see it being done. Yeah, but they still don't. They still don't have a dynamic field. Their fields are flat, artificially created 3D texturing. that isn't actually a dynamic field. And that's why I didn't buy 19, is because they hadn't actually developed the game. And I will slam them. I will comment on them until they actually come and face me down. I will comment on how lazy they are. Yeah, it needs a dynamic field. It needs that for me to actually buy another ever buy another farm simulator game from Giant. They have to actually change their whole system, and there isn't going to be. Now I went to check this out. There isn't going to be now. They technically around about now, this time of the year in 2020, they would have been releasing Farm Simulator 2021. They're not going to release that this year. They're not even working on it. Now, I was watching someone else, because when I went to find out whether they actually, if there was going to be another version, because like I keep, even though I'm down on Giant, in the way that they've got lazy in not producing an actual game and just taking what the modders have done, sucking it into their game and calling it theirs. Because the Seasons was an actual mod from 17, and a modder actually came up with the Seasons and added it into 17. It wasn't Giant who came up with that. It was a modder that did that. And Giant actually sucked it into their 19 version. Now, to me, I've kept an eye on it, and like they said, they're not producing another one this year because of, and their excuse was to release a version of Farm Simulator 2021 wouldn't be a viable option right now because of the new generations of consoles are being launched this year. So PlayStation 5 came out recently, and I think isn't there an Xbox, a new version of Xbox on the horizon somewhere? I'm not a console fan. I don't like consoles, so I don't keep an eye on that too much. But I do know PlayStation 5 came out like last week, and I think there is an Xbox. Yeah, exactly. But they're rivals, aren't they? It's the two separate companies, and Giant has been on the market longer than Cattle and Crops, and they'll be looking at Cattle and Crop. They'll be looking at the dev team for Cattle and Crops and thinking, well, these guys don't know anything. We've been doing this all this time, and these guys have just showed up. That's the way they're probably looking at it. But in my opinion, the dev team for Cattle and Crops has brought out one game versus what 5 or 6 versions of Farm Simulator, and Cattle and Crops come out with their first game and solve the problem of ground dynamic. And they're a smaller dev team. I can't understand it, me. I really can't. Giant's got all of that monetary power, and yet they haven't got a team that actually can produce a dynamic ground. It don't make sense to me. And you've got that. If you go with, now I know people keep going back to spin tires and things, and you slipping around on the mud in spin tires. And if you look at him, when he made spin tires, he was he was doing it by himself, so it's not like it can't be done. Now, I wouldn't want the actual complete dynamic of spin tires pulling into a farm simulator, but you can see it. You can see the mud texture moving around underneath the wheels in that game. It wouldn't take too much to adapt that to a farm simulator game. Someone ought to go and talk to the guy who made spin tires and ask him how he managed to do that, because like that to me would be, with a little adaptiveness to it, I think it would work pretty well on an actual farm. Though there is some stuff in Farm Simulator I do like. I kind of stopped myself from buying it, even after I saw what it could do. 19. I liked the way that it allowed you to create your own farm from scratch. I liked that idea a lot. Putting your buildings down and things. Yeah. That was a cool idea. If they'd have actually worked that hard, that they worked hard on the fact that they got them buildings working. If they'd have worked that hard on actually creating a proper field, then I would have bought that game in a heartbeat. But when I actually waited, and I normally buy, when it comes to farming games, I'll take the punt and I'll buy them before they, on the day of the release, without watching videos. And usually when I buy a game, before I buy the game, I'll have watched the video. I'll have watched some videos on that game before I buy it, before I actually take the leap and buy the game. Because a lot of games, to me, I get bored easy, and I've been buying games for years and years, and the only game that actually ever kept me hooked, a game that I would wake up, switch the computer on, start the game, and play it until I go to bed. The only game that's done that for me is EverQuest, the first EverQuest game. That was like, I've not seen any game since that's ever done that for me. Farming games, though, kind of can kind of hook me in. They have I don't know what it is about them. I don't know whether it's the relaxation of it, or the fact that you maybe I know what it is. I think it's the feeling that you've actually accomplished something. You're feeling like you've accomplished something when you plough the field and you get the crop ready to be planted. I think that's what it is all about with these games. You're not competing, although when you actually got when you do multiplayer, you're not really competing with them, but they help you. If you, I'd like to, I really would like to see this game get multiplayer. I'm hoping that's what they're actually secretly working on without telling us. I know it was on their backers Kickstarter page and everything, they were wanting it at launch, but now they've launched it, I'm hoping they're secretly working on getting the multiplayer mechanic of this working, because I would like to see people coming into my game, and as long as the thing is with multiplayer games, especially with the farming game, you can get idiots coming in and screwing around with your farm. And I'd like the ability. Now they didn't have this ability in Farm Simulator for a long time of being able to track IP and kick them out. Yes, there is. Well, that's probably why I've started playing a lot of survival games as well. Because in a survival game, you don't really get to an end. You build a building, you build and eat and build and continue on. Similar, the other one I've been playing that I like is Satisfactory. I've been playing that quite a lot. Now I've got a factory that I'm working on, that I've been working on since I've started my stream on it. Now it's got to a point where they're still in early access and they're still working on this, so I don't know where they're going to go with it from next year onwards. But I've got to the top end now. They have a space elevator that unlocks your next tech. So you go to your space elevator, you send this tech off, and it unlocks your next level of tech, and then you start to unlock that tech through your hub. Now that game, even though I'm at the max, I've maxed out all the tech and everything, I can still play that, and I can feel like I can always try and improve my factory, even though right now I think that game, to be honest, it needs a reason for me to build 20 million screws. I need a reason for why I'm making freaking supercomputers. Okay, there is other recipes that need this supercomputer, but why am I making the next recipe? Why am I producing these items? It doesn't have any like background lore story progression in it. It just you build the next item and that's it. Even though that is kind of enjoyable, but I still need a reason for it. I'd like to see some freaking DLC starting to show up for this game. At least some cheap DLCs, so that I can actually say, look, I'm backing you, make something good. This field is taking me forever. I should have got my my employee to do this field. Now we're going to stick, eventually, we're going to fix the fertilizer situation on this field, and then I'm going to seed it with wheat in the coming spring. And I think we'll have, actually, I'll get to the end of this field and I'll check something on my yes, I'd like to see a farmer's market. I'd also like to see, if you watch my tutorials, and I think most of them are now up on YouTube, which I'm still shocked that one of my tutorials No, one of my tutorials. I think it's tagged as episode 6, and it's got a thumbnail and I think this is what attracted everybody to go and watch this video. It's got a thumbnail of this tractor like this, and the baling machine right at the back of it, and that's the thumbnail on the video, and it's currently sitting at 65 views, which kind of blows my mind to say I've only actually got 28 subscribers. So it's got 65 views and only 28 of those, and I don't even know if all of my 28 viewers have watched it, but I think I can't remember where I was going with that. I'm gonna have to remember when I bale this field, because I'm gonna bale this field when I finish doing the wheat. I'm gonna bale it, and I'm gonna see if it's a baling, whether people like to see baling done. That's like, although my other videos are doing pretty good, but that one seems to have, number one, part 1 seems to be 50 something viewers, and number 6 got 65, and I think it's the baling thing that people want to see. I'm not exactly sure why. I think that's one of the most boring parts. Boring parts of doing this is baling. I'm not a big fan of baling. Although I'll do it, but it seems that there's a lot unless you actually don't, if you don't have to windrow it. If it's already windrowed, then I'll be happy. If it's already there, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of baling. Although it's going to make me some money when I actually make it. I need to. Oh, I was going to check. That's it. I was going to check something at the end of this row. At the end of that row. Let me get to the end of this one and I'll check something. Because, like, even though we're ploughing this field, I think field 15 over there is still growing grass. We're going to be creating grass silage for the cows this time around, and I want to put as much grass in that silo as I can get in there before I actually cover it up. That's it. Let's check. Going to fields owned 15. No, it's not 15. It's 14. We're at 29, 39. 39, and that's too low, and they're a little low. Actually, while we're checking that, let's go onto this field, and we are going to be doing, oh, hang on, summer rye. When is that? Summer rye, main grain. I would like to know when is the best time to drop this on. I'm gonna have to go and look at ideal time of planting rye, because right now we're in July. Now, have I missed it? Have I missed the window for that? I'm gonna have to check. If I can get away with putting rye in there, I might actually stick rye in this field, because that'll grow through winter. That'll grow over winter, won't it? Summer rye. Although what we got, my wheat field made 23,135 off the crop and 14,000, so that's 34, hang on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 37,000 altogether off field 22. Let's check prices for now. Prices are going to be on the easy mode, so these are the easy modes pricing until I get what I want. Then I'm going to go back to, so rice straw bales would be 4, okay, so just slightly less, and rye would sell 8, and wheat's going to be 9. Barley's slightly less. Maize is okay, but you don't get, see, if I produce this, I'm going to get more wheat from more money by using wheat than maize, because maize you only sell that and you don't get any bales off of maize. So I'm thinking wheat's probably going to be the best way to go. And it's starting to rain. Great. So my tractor's probably going to start sliding around on this ground. How wet is this? How wet is this field? Let's see how wet this field is. Surface wetness 0. Wetness. It's okay. Deep wetness. But surface wetness is none. Okay, so we're good for now. When it starts raining a bit heavier, this is going to start sliding around. The good thing about this, I like certain things about this game. When you see the wet fields and you can actually see water pooling in puddles on the actual surface of the on the surface of the field, I think that feature is really good on this game. That's something I would really like to have seen in Farm Simulator. Hay silage. Is there such a thing? There isn't such a thing. It's just hay. Grass silage. There's hay and grass. The grass, you just cut the grass, hoover it up with the machine, drop it in your silo, cover it up, turns it into grass silage. Hay isn't, you can't create hay silage. Hay, you basically cut the grass and then you use a treader to turn it into hay, but it doesn't, you don't turn it into silage, you just sell it as hay. So you'll need that piece of equipment to turn it into hay. So you cut the grass, use that, and then usually you would use, depending on how long you want to take, but you would usually use, let me find it, a windrower to turn it into rolls so that you can suck it up with the machine. I sure want to get a new tractor. Can't afford nothing. This is ridiculous. I want to get a freaking a big green tractor, but it won't let me buy it yet. What? Dog, why are you out on my field? Look, mate, that is ridiculous. Go on home. That's something I'd love to see, you know. I'd like, and this is kind of a wish list type of game mechanic that I would like to see. And this is another thing coming from Yorkshire. Um, I would like to be able to create a field similar to Farming Dynasty, where you could go out with some. Now this would be good, right? This would be an interesting mechanic. Have a flatbed trailer, drive over to what's called. Let me see on the map. Map. This place here. I don't even use it, and I don't know why they've put it in because I hardly ever go there. I don't use it. The contractor doesn't give me anything. Now, if they actually brought this into the game and like had wooden planks sitting out here, now I could, let's say, if I could buy this piece of land here and cut down the trees, or just maybe have a piece of land here, maybe like fence it off and buy some sheep and throw some sheep into there, and then like um, the mechanic I'm looking for is you'd be able to throw these sheep in there, and I'm trying to get rid of that, and you'd be able to use your dog to go and herd the sheep out of the field, bring them back down to your farm, sheep dip them, so you'd need a part of your, they'd have to redesign the farm a little bit and bring in a sheep dip area so you could sheep dip the freaking sheep and then shear them and then take them back to the field. Now that would be good. I would love that in a game. It would also allow your as a game player, it would allow you to start like specializing in what kind of farm you want to create. Like this one would be more. Right now, it would be just cows. You would really concentrate on your cows. But as a sheep farmer, you just try and concentrate on your sheep. I think that would be an awesome way of playing a farming game, having that kind of flexibility of what kind of farm you want to create. Wow, it's been an hour already. And I haven't finished this field yet. Yeah, just to let everybody know, I can't remember how much I've said it before now. My wife and I'm currently living in North Carolina in the USA. Hence my videos going out at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon over there because I'm finishing my work day gets finished pretty early in the morning, and I get to come home and create videos. But I've been in the States for 7 years now, and as much as I wanted to come over and live here, when that adage of grass is never greener, is always greener on the other side of the field, on the other side of the fence, that is so freaking true when you come face to face with it yourself. I always wanted to come and live in America, and when I got here, it wasn't as golden as I was hoping it was going to be. Now I'm not saying I haven't done badly here. I just never really settled. Never really felt like it was my home. It still doesn't feel like my home. And how's the doing in the field to the barns? What you mean? How's the? Are you talking about my cows? Oh, they haven't changed. You're talking about my cow experiment, aren't you? The 3 cows that I just left in the field, they're still in the field. And the cow experiment continues. As far as I've looked so far, there haven't been any real significant changes in either the cows in the shed and the cows out on the field. So there hasn't really been enough time go by in the game so far for me to know either way of how the cows are going to behave. So I think we're going to have to wait until we get through winter, and start seeing the cows' growth change, because I think they're all still on the first stage of the growth cycle in my shed. So there isn't been any change yet. So the experiment continues, and we'll keep an eye on it. Especially if the fact that the field, if them cows in the field don't ever get fat, then I'm gonna have to move them eventually, because I can't have 3 cows sitting out in the pasture field that's not actually growing. So we're gonna keep an eye on those 3 cows. I actually bought 4 more cows, which actually will help with my experiment. Let me just stop this a minute. Let's drop that. Let's go in here. Let's go and have an investigate of our cows. Now, I actually broke my own rule. I paid 838 for a cow. Normally, I will stop at 812. Now, I don't usually buy cows that are over 812. So all of these cows are still still at the animal trader are going to stay there, because I'm not going to buy these cows, because they're too in my head they're too expensive, and I'm not going to make enough money back off them. So I stop at 812, but I bought this one. Now I bought 4 new cows. I think this one of these 11s, 38, 700 and something. So I've got 4 cows in this shed that actually I should be able to tell by month. 4 months. Let's go with months. Age. Right, so these 3. There's another one somewhere. Okay. So it must be these 4 probably are my newest cows. these ones, that one's in the barn, right? Barn, 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 pasture. So he's a 7-month-old cow, right? So let's see, he's there. They seem to be keeping up in weight. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oh, back to what I was saying. Now, my wife got a British marriage visa that starts on the 9th of December this year and will go through till March next year. So I haven't been home back in the UK for over 7 years, and it's time to go home. So my videoing may become kind of sporadic, even though I've got a lot of content recorded that will still be going up onto YouTube. But my recording may become slightly erratic, especially over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Now, my wife's mum and dad live out in Arizona, and she wants to go and visit them. And she's probably on her way home now. She wants to go and visit them, so I will be taking my laptop with me. Now, my laptop isn't the best machine for streaming. In fact, it's not really a good gaming machine. I'd love to have I would have loved to have bought a new gaming laptop, but I haven't got one right now. Now I'm not sure whether it will run cattle and crops. It might. Now I might be able to get away with maybe streaming a little bit off the laptop. Now that really is going to be a test of whether I can actually stream or not, because like I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to get away with it. I'm going to try. I might try, but it might not be the best quality. So I'm just letting everybody know now that if I do try to stream from the laptop to it, I will let you know that I'm streaming from the laptop and not to expect brilliant quality. And because I'm taking the laptop, I might transfer some of the videos that are on my desktop machine and still upload the videos from the laptop while I'm away. And then sometime in December we will be flying back to the UK. Now my plan is to completely strip down yeah, well, America's not as good as it's cracked up to be, let's put it that way. It's not as, I don't know how to put it. There's certain structural issues I have with their infrastructure over here. The fact that I lived in a place where a thunderstorm would come through and literally someone's at the door. Just give me a sec. Let me just stop. Stop. Oh, man. Hello?
it, did you?
You didn't even tell us.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Everybody else had a letter. You didn't get one with your statement?
No. We haven't got the statement.
Man, what the crap. Alright. So how's everything going?
Going good.
Good?
Yeah.
Anything we need to worry about?
I'll let you know now. My wife got
You moving?
Yep. Just wanted to let you know.
Where are you going?
Home.
Oh.
Oh wow. Oh gosh. Sorry for stalling out like that. We live in a trailer that we're supposed to be we're renting to own it. Well, that's about to change. Um, and they come in because we don't fully own it yet. They come and inspect the. Is this sliding now? I think we are. Because we don't fully own it yet, they come and inspect it, and they just showed up. Didn't even know they were coming, which is interesting. We haven't received our. I don't think we've received anything this month from them. But yeah, they just told them that we're going to be moving. she didn't look best pleased. Anyway, so like I was saying, that we're going to be coming home soon, which I am so looking forward to. I want to do 3 things when I get back. One is to buy a mince pie, because it's nearly Christmas. I've got to have a mince pie, and then yes, and right now, I'm sick of fighting this country has a problem with certain creatures. Now, I'm sick of fighting with cockroaches in this country, because we live so far south that these freaking creatures, you do everything you can to keep your house clean, right? You can be the cleanest person in the world, and you could still have a cockroach infestation no matter how clean your house is, right? So you can make sure all of your pots and pans are clean and put away every time you use them. You can make sure all of the tops of your counters are clean, no sugar or anything on the tops of the counters, but yet you can still get these freaking cockroaches infesting your house. And they are the worst creature on this freaking planet. They will completely destroy any electronic item you have. They will get inside laptops, computers, anything electronic, i.e. your TV, your DVD player, your freaking modem, the freaking clock behind the cooker. They will do anything to get anywhere, and that's what's killed my laptop, is a freaking cockroach. Now, normally, I can repair my computer. If anything goes wrong with my computer, yeah, they do. And they've got freaking tin hats. They've got tin hats and they wear freaking Kevlar armor. I'm telling you now, man. They are freaking practically indestructible. And now I can repair my computer. Anything goes wrong with it, I can fix it. I can change the motherboard, I can change the fans, I can change the freaking CPU, I changed the RAM, I've put new graphics cards in here, I've actually changed out a complete power supply in my computers in the past. I've come here, right now, before I left the UK, I had to replace a power supply in my computer in the UK, which I did without any issues. My computer died. I was without it for a few days. I bought a new power supply. The power supply came, replaced the power supply, computer was back running. come over here, I've had to replace 3 power supplies in the last freaking 18 months. They literally destroy stuff. And I tell you, I am not going to miss those freaking things back in the UK. Really not. Plus it's Christmas, and like I say, I haven't been back home for 7 years. I flew out of Manchester on the 12th of December 2013 and switched planes in Shannon and landed in Boston, and I haven't been home since. So it's gonna be one of those, oh my god, this is what the UK looks like, remembering what the UK looks like, and the fact that I don't know, the smell of the air, and you might not really take much notice of it, but if you've lived 40 years in Yorkshire, and then you go and live in a completely different country, you can tell the smell of the air is different. How the hell do you know I was from Wakey? We're heading to wherever we can find somewhere to rent. The first thing I've got is wherever we can find a home to rent is where we're going to land. I would like to go back to Yorkshire, if possible, but I want to, basically I call it, I want to land, and landing just means I will take any place going for me, my wife, and the 2 dogs that we've got. And the 2 dogs that we've got are well-behaved dogs. They're not destructive. They are well house trained. In fact, when we got these 2, one of them's an Australian Shepherd, and the other one is a full breed Border Collie. So they're both full breeds. Now, when we got him as a pup, now this blew my mind. I've had many dogs over the years, and nothing compared to this one. He self-trained himself. He potty trained himself. You're in Bentley. Yeah. I'm wanting to come back to Yorkshire. Wakefield would be nice. I was living in Dewsbury. I lived in Dewsbury before I moved over to the US. I'd be happy living anywhere in Yorkshire right now. But yeah, I can't wait. I just really can't wait. So it took me so long to come back to the computer. yeah, it really is, and I miss it. And when you've grown up there, and everybody who's anybody living in Yorkshire will have smelt. If you go into the woods, like up in the Yorkshire Dales, you go into the woods, it has a very distinctive smell, like I'm not sure if it's garlic mixed with something else. It's a very distinctive smell, and it floats on the air. So you can be walking through the woods and you'll smell this, and I've not smelled anything like it over here. and it's one of those kind of smells that brings memories to you. Like you'll walk down the woods, in the woods, and you'll smell this smell, and you'll remember running down the same woods when you were a kid. Right? You remember these things, and there isn't any scents, any smells and scents over here that remind me of home. That's how bad it is. It's like I just can't wait till next spring when we're back in the UK and I can take my wife down to the coast and actually show her. No, it ain't. It's not. It's hard to describe. I know what manure smells like. I actually when we was at Wakefield, when I was in Castleford, in Casai, we had we had a summer camp, and when I was 14, I think it's 13, 12, 13, we went on summer camp, and their actual camp was actually in a farmer's field, and this farmer would let this bunch of kids come through their farmyard to get to the field where our tents were. And yeah, I know what manure smells like. So it's not that. It's a different kind of smell, and it's a woodland type smell. And the other thing is the rain. When it rains in the UK and you're walking through the woods, it smells so fresh. It doesn't smell like that here. It rains and it doesn't smell as fresh as it does in the UK. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's me being sentimental or not, but it doesn't smell the same. And we went to 2 Thanksgivings ago, and yeah, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but the Americans do. 2 Thanksgivings ago, we went down to Charleston. Now, I was told Charleston, and now I know from history, Charleston is an old colony city, an old colony town, British colony town, down in South Carolina. Now, if you've ever, and everybody goes to the beach in the UK, you have a promenade, you have the beach, you have a road that runs down the side of the promenade. Across the road, you'll have fish and chip shops, cafes, freaking ice cream parlours, freaking shops that are selling buckets and spades, all of that sort of stuff. And then you'll have amusement arcades running up and down the freaking front of the beach. We get to Charleston and we go onto the beach, and there is absolutely nothing. Nothing. No promenade, no shops, no cafes, no freaking nothing. And I'm looking at my wife and I said, where are the shops? Why isn't there anything? Why isn't this? It's like, why isn't anything here? There's absolutely, you can't buy a bucket and spade to do sandcastles on the beach. Nothing. It's like, can't get deck chairs, no nothing. And I'm like, what is wrong with this place? There is nothing here. Why would anybody come to the beach? There's nothing here to entertain you. Yeah. When we go home, and she goes to the beach, and we buy. That's the other thing. They don't sell rock over here. Sticks of rock. She's in for a real shock when she sees sticks of rock over there. Fish and chips. Oh my god. I'm off to when I get back home. I'm off to Dewsbury, and I'm gonna find that fish and chip shop that I used to live near and buy some fish and chips. They don't know how to make fish and chips here. Although there is a guy that lives in Charleston when we went down there. There's a guy that lives in Charleston from London. He's an Arsenal supporter, which I'll forgive him for that. Right? I'm not gonna say who I support, what football team I'm supporting, because I really don't need the backlash right now. But but oh, I love Brid. I love Brid, man. And there's she's not a big Dracula or vampire fan, but and I like I like Bram Stoker and everything. And me and my dad went to Whitby during the Vampire Festival in October. I think it's October when they do the Halloween, and there's all these goths walking up and down freaking Whitby High Street dressed in vampire gear, right? So I'm gonna have to take my wife to see that, because that just, when I first saw that, I'm like, oh my god, that's a sight to behold, I tell you. So I want to take her to Whitby, the home of Dracula. My dad actually has, he bought a static caravan. I think it's actually between Whitby and Brid. So hopefully we'll be able to use that and go and visit Brid. I'd also like to take her to see Blackpool Tower and actually do the illuminations, if they're still freaking doing them. I don't know if they're still doing them. I don't think they're doing them this year though, are they, because of the COVID stuff. But I'd like to go to Blackpool and show her that. Of course she's going to want to go down to London and do all the stupid tourist stuff. I'm not a big London fan. I really don't like that city. I lived there for 8 years when I was a kid, and I hated every minute of it. So we'll probably do London. I'd like to take her to York and do York. I think York's a beautiful city. People should go to York. If they've never been to York, they should go to York. It's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to. Yeah, well, I'm not a big horror fan. For some reason I'm not a big horror fan. But I like vampire movies. For some reason I do like vampire movies. I'm not into the Twilight stuff though. The Twilight stuff, not so big on that crap. But real vampire movies I can get behind. I don't like the Saw and things like that. Gory movies, not really into that. Halloween movie, not really big on that. I did actually watch a lot of Freddy Krueger movies when I was younger. Scared the life out of myself. But I'm not a big horror fan. I'm more of a sci-fi person myself. More into like Star Trek. Anything star related. Not a big fan of Star Wars, but I do watch them. But I wouldn't rush out and watch. I wouldn't rush out and watch the latest Star Wars movie. But if it comes on TV, I'll sit and watch it. That type of thing. But I went out of my way to watch most of the new Star Trek stuff. I'll go and sit and watch any of the Star Trek movies when they first come out. I'll be first in line at the queue. I actually went. Now the wife I had in the UK, I said to her, this was when just at the time when Avatar was had come out. And I said to my wife, let's go and watch that in 3D. And she said, oh, I don't want to go and watch that. I'm like, I'm going to go and see this film, with or without you. I ended up going and watching it in 3D by myself, sitting next to a bunch of kids who were watching this film. Yeah, I like a lot of sci-fi fantasy type stuff. We went to watch oh yeah, I'm watching that Star Trek Discovery on CBS right now, and they've gone completely out of what I thought when they first did it, and they set it before Enterprise, but between Star Trek and the Enterprise. Have put it in between those two, and all of a sudden they're now in the future. I'm like, I like the way they've gone with that. I really do. And the team, the people that are actually doing it are gelling really nicely together. I'm liking it. I also liked Picard. That's if you want to watch Picard if you haven't seen it. That is a really good. I enjoyed it. It's really different from what you normally expect from Star Trek. It's really different, and I enjoyed that. I can't wait for the next season, although I'm not sure I'm gonna get my head around the fact of what happened to Picard. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to say anything. I'm trying not to spoil it. For those who haven't seen it, go watch it. It's worth the time. But yeah, I'm a big sci-fi type person. We went and actually watched, me and my new wife, my current wife, the only wife that I really actually want from now on. If I end up getting divorced, there's never going to be anybody else. I went. You should. I'm not going to spoil it, but you should go and watch it. It's really good. It's not what you would expect from a Star Trek thing. Just that much. That's all I'm going to say. It sucks you in. Put it that way. As a story, you'll enjoy it. I really did. We went and watched Doctor No. Doctor No? No, is it Doctor No? No, it's not Doctor No. Or is it? The Marvel thing. The Cumberbatch played him. We watched that in 3D. Doctor Strange. That's his name. Yeah, we went to watch that at the cinema in 3D. Oh my god. When I watched that in 3D, it made my stomach turn. Because at the beginning, they do like... And if you were in 3D is so freaking good nowadays, that when you put those glasses on, and I was watching it, and they do a kaleidoscope with the building, so they're like walking upside down and they're walking on the side and the building's rotating, and there's a lot of rotating stuff in it. That confused my brain to the point I almost was sick, because my brain couldn't because it was seeing it in 3D, my brain couldn't process what it was visually seeing. So my brain actually got confused with the actual rotation of the building. It couldn't understand why people were walking upside down. Yeah, I loved that film. When it actually got past that, I thought it was brilliant, but it really did confuse me. And I think I think have I actually stopped this video and started it again? Please tell me I did. Is this going to be a 2-hour video? It is going to be a 2-hour video. Oh well. Never mind. YouTubers, sorry for not cutting it. It's a 2-hour video. Usually I cut it and split it into 1 hours groups, but this one's going to be 2 hours. And all I've done is plough this field and talk. So what I'm planning to do, as we're just about to finish this field, I'm probably gonna do a bit of stuff while off camera, and what I might do tomorrow is I know I've got a following that likes to watch me do farming. So what I might do is I'll do a couple of hours doing the cattle and crops thing, and then I might come back later on after I've done my 2 hours and I've watched my shows, because I like to keep up with what's going on over in the UK. So I'll probably watch some TV, and yes, I do watch TV over in the UK. I have to keep my accent, and I refuse to lose my accent, so I keep watching Yorkshire shows just so that I can keep my accent, or keep up to date with my accent. Even though I could keep it without that. I lived in London for long enough for 8 years, and I never lost my Yorkshire accent. But anyway, so I'll be watching my shows, and then I'll probably come back maybe later on tomorrow after. Yes. Now, you say that, right? I never used to be an Emmerdale fan, right? When I was a kid, Emmerdale used to bore the hell out of me. And my dad watches it, my mum used to watch it, and it's one of those shows that you grow up watching, right? Regardless of whether you're interested in it, your parents are watching it. So if your parents are watching it and it's the only thing on TV, you end up watching it, regardless of whether you like it or not. So you grow up, whether you like it or not, you grow up whether you don't like it. You might end up liking it eventually because it's something. And Corrie, yeah, we watched that too. I watched both of those. My wife likes them. Like, she's an American. She's never seen British soaps before, right? I proxy my computer back into the UK so that I can watch these shows. Now, I know you're not supposed to and all of that, blah, 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 blah. I'm British, and I miss certain things. So I'm going to try my damned hardest to watch stuff that are familiar with to me. And even though some of those adverts actually are, some of them, although not all of them, but we have products over here that are exactly the same. So the adverts are kind of working, just in case ITV sees my stream. But yeah, it's like they're familiar shows to me, and I like to watch them. It makes me feel like I'm still back in the UK. It's helped. It helped me with the helped me feel less homesick. Which I think that's what I'm starting to suffer after 7 years. The fact that I haven't been home for 7 years is making me feel homesick. I'm actually enjoying. Now, this is something I actually watched on and off. If I like who's in it, I'll watch it. Now, I'm currently watching, and I'm actually getting into this. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Now, they're in that. They're doing it in Wales, in the castle in Wales, and it's like, why didn't they do a version of it there? I know they like going to Australia because of the sun and all of that, and Ant and Dec love going out to freaking Australia in the middle of winter just to get a bit of sun for the next 3 weeks. But that castle they're in looks absolutely freaking awesome. I wouldn't mind spending a night there myself. Okay, I wouldn't want to do the freaking the trials that they've got going on. Yes, Yorkshire tea. Now, I can actually, I don't know whether I can actually get Yorkshire tea over here. I can get Tetley's. I can get Tetley's tea here in the UK, in the US. And I tell you, if I hadn't been able to get if I hadn't been able to get Tetley's tea, I would have been on the first flight back 7 years ago, because I wouldn't have been able to survive 7 years without a cup of tea. It's just one of those things. I get up on the morning, first thing I do, switch the kettle on, go to the bathroom, come out, make a cup of tea. I cannot leave the house without having a cup of tea. It's just sacrilege. There's another place I'd like to take my wife, and that's to the North Yorkshire Dales. There's certain places that I visited when I was a kid. When we were doing that summer camp, we went to Malham Cove, and Malham Cove is one of the most beautiful places that you can visit. There's many beautiful places in the UK. I'm not disputing that. There is many beautiful places, and I've been to a lot of them. But living at Wakefield, my mum coming from Castleford, the River Aire and the River Calder. The River Aire runs through Leeds. Yeah, one cup. Yeah. Well, if I'd like to be able to drink 3, but I have to get up, and I'm an Uber driver, and time is basically money, so I have to be out of the house and working. So I don't have the time to sit and drink 3 cups of tea. If I was doing YouTubing all the time and I was a YouTuber, then I would spend I would do 3 cups of tea, no problem. So I'm going to take her to Malham Cove, and the River Aire actually starts at an underground spring at Malham Cove, and you can actually drink the water straight out of the river. At this point, it's not even a river; it's a stream, and you can drink the water there. And I want to take her and show her these places. Another place I'd like to visit again is Bolton Abbey. I'd love to go and do the walk to Bolton Abbey. That's a nice place to go. And I'm sure, because she's Scottish. Do you know, man? You don't know the half of that. Like when I first got here to the US, they don't make kettles, right? They make coffee percolators, right? They don't make kettles like we do in the UK, right? And we bought a kettle. Right now, we bought this kettle, the first kettle we bought, and I got some tea and sugar, milk, all the stuff. Put this kettle on, boiled this water, made the first cup of tea. This kettle didn't boil water to the temperature that I needed for it to actually brew the tea. There's a certain level of hot water, a temperature that the water has to reach, right? And she couldn't understand this. I said the water has to reach a certain temperature for this fermenting system, for it to work. It has to be at a certain temperature, and this kettle couldn't get there. It just couldn't get to the temperature I wanted, and the tea was always cold. Eventually we found another kettle. It got the temperature right. It just burnt out within a couple of weeks. We've ended up, I've had at least, in the 7 years we've been here, I've been here, I must have gone through at least 10 kettles. It's like they don't make kettles how they used to. I'm sure of it. Oh, believe me, she already know. I think she came and visited when I was in Dewsbury. She came over to visit me, and she managed to. She stayed for 4 days, and she was blown away in the short period of time that she was there. She only saw Dewsbury town centre, right? She didn't see much else. And I think this was more of a symbolic thing. And she touched the building. She went up and touched the side of Dewsbury Town Hall, and she turned around to me and she said, because she knew she was only going to be allowed to stay for 4 days, she turned around to me and she said, I want to come back and touch this building again. Which I'm getting a bit emotional over that, because like certain things in your life will make you cry, even as a guy, and I don't hide my emotions, right? So certain things will make me feel choked up. Now, when she came over to visit me, we told the border agency, both of us told the border agency the truth. Now, she didn't have the right visas and stuff to get into the country. She came over on a whim, and the border agency called me up and said, we have a so-and-so here at the airport. She says she's coming to visit you. Is this true? And I said yes. And he said, why is she here? I said, she wants to come and live here. And they said, right, okay. And he didn't give me any inklings of what was going on. He asked me a couple of more questions and I can't remember what they were. And he then put the phone down. He then rang me back about 15 minutes later, and he said, she's not allowed to enter the country. And I'm like, great, okay. Slight disappointment. He then said, but because you told us the truth, and I think this is the good thing, because we told them the truth, and she told them the truth as well, he said, oh, just a sec, let me stop this vehicle. Stop. Official, stop.
Hi. Hi, come on. Come in the door.
Yeah, because we told them the truth, she was allowed to stay for 4 days. So I ended up going to London and picking her up and fetching her up to Dewsbury. So she got 4 days in Dewsbury. So that's gonna be like a place that she's gonna want to go to. Sparkborough? I don't think I've ever been there. I might have to look that up, mate. She does like old towns, and the UK is full of them. I mean, some of the cities and the towns and things, like Wakefield Cathedral, it's like hundreds of years old. Freaking, we've got buildings in the UK that are older than this freaking country is, older than the US itself. We've got so many buildings over there that she wants to go visit. It's like I took pictures when I was back in the UK. I took photographs. I like taking photographs, and I took photographs of Wakefield Cathedral, and I sent her these pictures, and I'm sure eventually she's going to want to go and visit these places that I took pictures of, especially Wakefield Cathedral, because I took quite a few of those. But like, there's certain buildings that are going to blow our mind. Like when we go to York, and you see York Minster. Oh my God! Just the outside of that building is going to blow our mind. Let alone going inside and seeing all the freaking architecture and the freaking stained glass windows on the inside of that place. Oh, it's a pub. Whereabouts? Is that on a river? Is that on the side of a? Yeah, it's on a river, next to a river. Is that? Oh, I think I know where you might be talking about. It's there's a, I think there's a canal. Isn't there a canal stop type place there where you can where you can park up canal boats? I think my dad took us there. Yeah, there is so many places, man, that she's gonna freaking freak out when we when we go see these places. We're not a big pub. I'm not a big drink. I don't drink. Yeah, I think I know where it is. I think my dad took us there. I'm not. I stopped drinking a long time ago, but I can go to a pub and drink a couple of either shandy, even though that is alcoholic. Most likely drink orange juice and stuff, and have a nice pub meal. I can do a pub meal. I just don't. I stopped drinking when I was 22. I had me and my brother. I kind of had a like real bad experience with alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not going to say that I'm an alcoholic, because I'm not. I could actually go and drink a beer now and it won't affect me. It's just a lifestyle choice that I do not want to drink anymore. Especially after the fact that my brother can drink like a fish, and it doesn't seem to affect him. And me and him went out after a bad marriage. I said to my brother, I want a drink. For every drink you drink, I want one. And that was the worst thing I ever did in my life, because I don't remember the nightclub at all. And it's like a movie in my head where I can basically see snippets of what happened that night, and my brother's struggling to take me home. I know. I'm gonna be putting it on in a minute. I'm gonna call it a day on my video. Them.
Uh-oh. Coming down with Corey.
He's from Yorkshire. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call it a day on my video. I never even got this field done. So until I'm gonna call it a day. I will be back tomorrow, usual time. We'll probably do a bit more of this. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. It's been great talking to you, Dazzling. I appreciate you coming in and keeping me company, mate. And I'm not sure if Irish is still there. I appreciate you too, man. I know you haven't spoke much today. I know you've been here because you did speak at. Um, Everybody else who watches my videos, I do appreciate it. I will talk to you again tomorrow. You all have a wonderful evening. He's on my friends list. I'll chat. You have a wonderful evening, man. See you tomorrow.